Hey guys, what's going on? We got another deck profile here. This time it's of the Salamangreat deck that recently just got unbanned, essentially, with the Rice Heart going away. This deck was a lot of fun before with the new cards, but now that the Rice Heart's gone and we have 3 Gazelle, this deck is just really consistent. It still has some problems in the format, particularly with things like Nib and DD Crow, which are really popular again. So there's still some work to be done for it, but I of course had to profile it. This was like the deck that got me back into modern Yu-Gi-Oh! I've never been able to play with 3 of this in 3 circles, so it's been really fun to really see how strong they can be. I will say before I get started, I do not think that this is a meta contender deck. I think this is just like a fun deck that you play at locals. I was very high on it at first, but as the meta developed, you just cannot be Unchained with this deck in the slightest. And you cannot beat Tier Element with this deck really either. You know, those are going to be the 2 bad decks, or big bad decks of the format, then you really just can't play this deck. I took it to a VIP qualifier. Unfortunately, I couldn't beat the Unchained player I play against, so I didn't get the VIP event, and then I had to leave locals early. But yeah, the deck's really fun, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. And I'll show a couple of the cooler combos you can do now at the end of the video. But first, obviously 3 Gazelle, got to play 3 of it. No options. I saw somebody arguing in one of the groups that you should only play 2 of this and 3 Fire, and I think you're just like absolutely wrong. 3 Spinny, this is the only other like really good one, if that makes sense, because this gets you to Mirage Dahlia, but it's also just a free extender in every type of situation. 2 Fire, you really just do not want to open this card unless you have, like, your hand is like 4 hand traps in this, and you can still like make full combo with this card. But you're usually just summoning it off Mirage Dahlia. There was an argument in my mind to play 1, but like it's better than playing just like another doobie salad monster or playing like another hand trap that would just not improve consistency or not improve your bad hand. So that's why we're playing 2. 2 Foxy, it's the same argument for this card. It's a worse normal summon in every way to Gazelle and technically even Spinny, but you still want them to help like your awful hands, because this is almost playable with 1 card, and this is playable with 1 card. But this is like the best card for the grind to help pop floodgates too. And then there's 3 one-ofs, Jaguar, Foul, and oh, that's not a salad, and a Weasel. This is for Dweller. You can change your play pattern to allow you to make Dweller in this deck by ignoring Fire, and against Unchained, that's like the only feasible way you have to beat that deck. Weasel is pretty standard at this point. Jaguar I want to play 2 because of DD Crow's popularity again, and losing this really sucks, but I haven't tested enough with it yet. I think DD Crow is going to pick up a lot more going forward, and initially it wasn't as popular. That's it for the monsters, for the salads. For the spells, only 2 Signet Mining. This goes into the theory with Fire, where you have Circle and 3 Gazelle now, so you don't really need to maximize on these cards anymore. This really hurts on getting ashed and drolled, so I just wanted to minimize on that, but like it's really good to pull you out. It's a terrible top deck, it's terrible to draw off Weasel or Heat Soul, so I really just wanted it to have it for like those small percentages where you open only this. Then there's 3 Circle, a Will, a Sanctuary, 2 Roar, and then a Rage. So the reason we're playing 2 Roars is because your first turn combo will have you dump this if your hand's like optimal, which is like Gazelle plus pretty much any salad can do the combo, but like if it's Gazelle, Foxy, or Gazelle, Spinny, then you'll dump this and have it, and you want to have the second one in deck for the follow-up. The 1 Rage, because this is what we search off of Raging Phoenix, and this is your going second search. There's no need to play more than 1, never a reason to play more than 1. The 1 Sanctuary is obvious, and 3 Circle is obvious. And then for the non-engine, I played 3 Ash, 3 Crow, 2 Nibiru, 3 Imperm. I think that like these 9 are going to be very good going forward. These 6 at least will be in pretty much everybody's main deck. And then I decided to play Crossout Designator, because Crossout is very strong into all these, which are naturally very strong into my deck. And it's also very strong to cross out something like Talents, which is also very good against my deck, because like you'll probably use something like Ash Crow before you'll use like Rage or Roar. So even just having cross out set just for the Talents is really important. And then Called By also is really good against, or with cross out as well. You being able to protect your Jaguar with it or protect your hand traps is strong, but it's also just to prevent you from getting shifted. Like, there are still enough decks that can play it. That's the main deck. It's 40 cards, no more, no less. No Desires, because I still think even with 3 Gazelle, that card is kind of trash. For the salads, we got the Mirage Stalio, 3 Baylinks. I still think you need 3 Baylinks for the grind. It's the easiest way to trigger your Gazelle post turn 1. Only 2 Sunlight Wolf, you only need 2 now. You'll rarely ever make the second one anymore unless like you're doing a weird grind scenario where you have to keep buying back traps with it. But the second one's there just for safety. I almost wanted to play a second Heat Leo over it. The way that the format has adjusted itself, that this is like the only way to help with Unchained outside of Dweller. And it's just really strong to put back Labyrinth cards with it. And then the new Best Boy is Raging Phoenix. This card's insane. This is exactly what the deck really needed. It's crazy that, you know, just another searcher in a deck with this much consistency is what it needed, but being able to get your protection and be able to get your OTK package is crazy. The Dweller, like I said, there are certain play lines that you can do where you can make this against Unchained. You'll have a much weaker board. It'll pretty much just basically be this, but like that's should be all you need if you have this protected with like the counter trap. Like they'll still be able to beat over you, but you'll be able to OTK them on the next turn. The OTK package now, Proxy F, Pit Knight, and Violet Chimera. So Fire locks you, or Salamangreat Fire locks you into only using fire, special only fires for the entire turn. Where like before we had Mirage Dahlia that locked us into fire effects afterwards, and fire locks you for the turn. So you can't access code with this deck. So this is the next best way to OTK in the deck. I haven't not seen a lot of people do this yet. So that's why we're doing this profile primarily, to get this OTK out, and I'll show the combo to do this at the end. And then the Heat Soul package. I'll also show how you use this. This setup's a lot easier, but like you use this to get into your Heat Soul, and you'll never end with him anymore. He's just like a climb fodder for Raging Phoenix, but he gives you an extra card, and with Weasel you draw basically 2 cards every turn. And the side I played, it was pretty generic, and that's just like going into a new format, from a format that was already extremely diverse into an even more diverse format. I really feel like you needed to like just have the highest impact. So 3 Droll, I'm unsure how I feel about this card. There's a lot of crazy combo decks going around right now where you kind of forced to play this, but I think as we go forward and we see how the meta settles a bit, this will become a lot less mandatory. 3 Gamma Seal. This is for Pearly. Pearly's not too hard of a matchup, but there's no reason to not just simplify it. Going forward, I think we're going to make these Book of Eclipses or Book of Moons just to have better coverage. But this deck also struggles with things like Avermax and just other like tower effects, so maybe it's worthwhile keeping, but we'll see. It did very well whenever I had it, because like just outing the big boss monster at the start of the turn before you even set up anything is really nice. 3 Dark Ruler. So this is an adjustment. At the VIP qualifier, I was playing these instead. But I played this for Pearly, and I shouldn't have, because Pearly's not even that popular in my area, but I don't know how people are going to build for a new format, so I wanted to have it just in case. And this was in here for when I go second against the big combo decks to help increase my chances, but a small percentage of like putting this in the deck didn't matter. And then there is a synergy with this card being a fire that I can use, help make Sunlight Wolf or Heat Leo or whatever with it. But that rarely ever mattered. So these are just going to be the replacement. These could be droplets as well, but I feel like that not every hand is going to function with one card, essentially, so I just wanted to have this. And they both lose to the Vanadium Trap, so 3 Cosmic for back row. You typically have a good back row matchup, but again, like the same idea with like Gamma Seals, like you don't really need it to help win, but like why not just simplify it, make it easier on yourself. And then 3D Barrier for the crazy Synchro Spam decks that are going around right now, and Chimera. You also have a very good Chimera matchup because their deck is just focused on grinding and not resourcing, but you do that better. So the combo I was referring to, we'll go ahead and just do that real quick. In order to do it, the easiest way, and just to make it work, you need these 2 cards. Easiest way to do it, and it's going to be the rest of your hand. So the first thing you do is you're going to normal Spinny, and it's going to be a little weird to do, but normal Spinny, and then you link this off into your Bay Links. Can you see it okay?
Yep.
So now you trigger your Gazelle, and then your Gazelle is going to go dump the Counter Trap. The Counter Trap is also going to be pretty important going forward because it also helps chain block the Raging Phoenix, so we're going to keep that in mind. Here you use Spinny Effect to summon itself, and the line that you can probably see is we're making Splash Mage here. And the reason it's more important to just do this now and get it out of the way instead of waiting for the Splash Mage is because your opponent has like Imperm on Splash Mage and you just pass because you can't summon the Spinny. So we're going to link those 2 off for Splash Mage. And then we're going to use Splash Mage Effect to bring this back. And then you exceed here. Your zone placement's not going to matter for this particular combo, so if it looks a little just like off-center or weird, it doesn't matter. You're not using Sunlight Wolf. So here you're going to use Mirage Dalio, detach the Gazelle. And here you're going to get Salamangreat Fire. You can also get Jaguar here, depending on your hand. It doesn't really matter because you're going to be linking this off. I like to get Weasel most of the time, but also it's not really important. Oh, we didn't even get the field spell off of Bay Links. That's crazy. Okay, so this is off Bay Links. My apologies. So we're going to do it this way, just to show the way I like to do it. So now here, you're going to link these off into Heat Soul, and then you're going to draw a card, which again doesn't matter, so we're just going to pick the top one up. And now you have your 2 fires, and what you're going to do is summon your first Raging Phoenix. So this Raging Phoenix is going to trigger your Weasel. But since we had to use Mirage Dalio early, there's not a big reason to do it, but I like to have it engraved for the follow-up, so that's why that's here. So we're just going to relink after we activate the field spell into the second one. And here we're going to go Chainlink 1 and Chainlink 2 with the Counter Trap to block it. Since this is Reincarnate Summon, you can just set this. And then here, this is where the combo diverts, depending if you're going first or second, and if you cleared the way. So if you're going first, you're going to get the trap, the Rage, because then this is your board plus whatever else you had in hand. Like this obviously isn't going to be your hand. And if you used Weasel and like you had waste like an extra extender, you can draw an extra card. So we'll just say you had 5, just for the argument's sake. So this will be like your hand, essentially 6 cards with this set. But if you're going second, what you do is you're going to grab this, you'll activate it, and here you'll activate the effect to Soul Charge. And it is important to remember that your Soul Charge effect has to summon a defense, so you cannot summon back like the links, but you're going to summon back the 4. And where this comes up is you're going to link those off into Proxy F, and then you would link these off into Pit Knight. So the OTK with this is after you gave him the monster with Weasel, which we're going to pretend we did here, you're going to use Proxy F's effect to fusion, and you're going to chain Pit Knight. So Pit Knight, since it's pointing to this, will make this monster's attack 0 and negate his effects. And then you fusion with these into Chimera. He'll gain the attack of these 2 as half of it, so you'll get 2100 attack on the 49, and then you'll go to battle phase and you'll attack, and since his attack's different than his original, that's 9800, It's not as high, so like there are some weird scenarios where your opponent will have more life points, but it is essentially an OTK. Also, funny enough, after that, if they don't die, you can link this off into you can like link into Sunlight Wolf with this and still have your counter trap live, so you didn't really like fail to protect yourself afterwards. But yeah, that's the combo. I kind of sped through it just to make it faster. Like you'd be able to imagine like you used fire to get Weasel and then stuff like that. You'll see how that combo line works. But that's it for the deck profile. This deck's a lot of fun this format. It's got its advantages being a really hard resource grind deck, and it's got its advantages having a lot of room for non-engine. Where the deck struggles is how strong the non-engine that's good against this deck is right now. So we'll see how it goes. This is not the deck I'm taking to Richmond. We'll see what I take, but I'm probably going to take Ace, which will update profile when I get the Diabella Star cards. Remember to comment, rate, subscribe. Thanks for Corbin for recording. And thanks for watching.